In this video, we're going to be looking at lights, specifically night riding lights. Clocks have changed. It is now dark before you leave work, and it is dark before you leave home for work. So if you're going to get any riding in other than the weekend warrior stuff, it's all about that night riding season. To do that safely and enjoyably and without scaring yourself in a bad way, you need a quality set of lights at the front of your bike and on your helmet as well, depending on what your preference is. I usually go with both. But these lights, they cost a lot of money. If you want anything that's got any quality or value to the light it's putting out, that's usable in any real way, you're talking hundreds of pounds. So is it worth it? For a start off, the alternative is not riding. Losing fitness, losing skill. If you rest, you rust. But for a quarter of that price, you can get yourself a turbo. Yeah, but that's shite. So, set of lights allows you to ride the whole year round at times when you wouldn't be able to otherwise. So it's an enabler. You pay that for a gym membership over the same period. So when you put it in those kind of terms of kind of like maintaining fitness, it's actually a worthwhile investment. And whilst these are still a very expensive accessory to have for your riding, you can get a light that will allow you to do this cheaply. Just a small browse in the darker corners of eBay will find plenty of Solar Storm style clones of this year's shape or that year's shape. For the best part of 20 quid, you're going to get something with a claimed 1800, 2500 lumens. No one's thinking it's that, but it's an entirely usable amount of light that you'll get. And for 20, 30 quid, if it just lasts you that season or 2 months, then fine. That's your gym membership for that month. But the problem with these comes is they're not all made equal. And the batteries are sketchy as hell. And the charger's no different. And you'll be lucky if you find one where there aren't recycled cells, or there isn't an overcharge or undercharge or surge protect circuit. They're not there. So if there's going to be someone that burns your house down, it's probably going to be that. So that puts a lot of people off. So you need a light which is affordable, a good investment, but also gives you an unbelievable amount of usable light and battery life and safety of usage. How do you square that circle? I was reached out to by Magicshine to test this unit out. So I haven't bought this with my own money, but I'm not being pressured by them in any way to give anything other than a fair and honest review. So I'd like to thank them for sending me out their Monteer 6500. This guy is their brightest top tier mountain bike specific ride light. It puts out a rated theoretical 6500 lumens. Now, unlike the cheap clone lamp lights you can find on eBay, this uses proper quality rated cells. Some of them are spot, some of them are flood, and you can swap between them and different brightnesses of mixing the 3 or the 2 array or all 5 at once and a variety of different brightnesses. So if you have everything on full beam burning holes through the side of your neighbour's house kind of brightnesses, you're going to get about hour 20, hour and a half run time. But if you push that to the lowest of the low flash, you're probably going to get like 8 2 hours. In reality, you're going to be somewhere in the middle. And actually, what I find myself doing on the trail is when I'm on the climbs, dropping that brightness right down and then saving that battery lifespan for the descents when I need to be able to see everything brighter than it was during the daytime. Things that I like about this light, its brightness and its usability, because you're able to change the beam pattern from the flood and the spot, kind of push straight down that trail, and being able to adjust the brightness of it. I like that it's a standard garment mount, so you're able to just click and turn and you're in. And if you've already got a garment mount on your bars, then you can just clip straight into that. Things that I don't like straight off the bat. There's no battery indicator on the lamp itself, which is a color change. There's not like 5 bars that count down, giving you an idea of how much battery runtime you still have left. It gets pretty hot, let's not pretend. Now these lights are going to get hot. They're small compact units putting out an ungodly level of brightness, so they're going to get pretty toasty. In the field, it's dark, it's cold, it's winter, you're moving, that's going to keep the air cooling going, but just have to bear in mind that this unit gets really hot really quickly. And of course, because of this setup, the slightly older setup where you've got the separate battery unit and then the headlight unit, you can get over the fact that you've got that setup issue of where's the battery being attached in the frame, and it's not a single contained unit. It retails just under £200, so let's not pretend it's an expensive light. But if you've got a £30 gym membership, then before you know it, your winter riding season is covered the chunk of that. And you're getting out, you're riding, you're enjoying yourself, you're getting out there, and you're not getting your skills rusty in the same way as you would if you were on the turbo to a spin class. The head unit is actually quite large, so where some of the smaller head type units, you can mount one on your bars and one on your helmet. Putting this on your helmet is quite a large weight, quite high up, so you're going to feel that pulling down one side or the other. So this, I wouldn't want to put this anywhere other than on my bars. So I quite often in the past rode with the smaller 2 Cree LED kind of solar storm style or clone lights with one on my helmet and something on my bars, because then I'll get kind of where I'm looking, but also where the bike's looking, so I have as much coverage as possible. This is limited to the bars. So that gives you a different experience in terms of like when you're coming up to a corner, you're seeing where the bike's pointing, you're not necessarily seeing the exit of your corner. So you might want to pair this with a smaller light that is on your helmet. But apart from that, it's really hard to complain when you look down the trail and it actually is brighter than it is during the day. Would I recommend this light to someone else? If they have the money, yeah. Would I recommend it over the cheap lights? And that's an interesting question. Now, my rule of thumb with all kinds of kit, whether it's camera, lighting, biking related, is always buy the best you can afford. And if you can't afford £200 worth of light, don't force yourself, but also don't not get involved in night riding because you don't have a £200 light. And that £20, £30 solar storm number will allow you to get out there and engage with night riding and see if it's something you enjoy. Because it's not for everyone. It is great fun, and you see your home trails in a totally different light, no pun intended. But if you drop 200 quid, get out there and realise, I'm not digging this vibe, that's a high price eventually, only to discover you don't like the ride. So those cheap clone lights are great enablers. They kind of democratise the whole night riding situation, and they make great backup lights. So am I going to get rid of my solar storm? Probably not. It's probably going to still stick on my lid so I can see my exit on the corners, and this guy's going to go in the bar so that the rest of the woods are woken up and everything thinks it's daytime, but I can see exactly where I'm going. So again, thank you to Magicshine for reaching out. I'm looking forward to really putting these through their paces. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and tell us what lights you're using this winter riding season down in the comments. And let us know if you prefer a light on the helmet or on the bars. Thanks for watching.